Hey there, it's Claude Larson. I'm in my studio, and I know that those of you who follow my newsletter, I've been saying that this year I'm going to revisit some old work, edit some down, paint over some, cut some up, do all kinds of things. And I'm getting ready to do that. I picked out a bunch of pieces that I made probably 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And so I've mounted them on nice backer board with a nice mat, but that doesn't mean anything. And I'm just going to show you, and you'll notice in the notes there's a video on how to mount your artwork. So this artwork has a hinge here in the front and also a hinge here in the back. It's white artist's tape. It's hard to see white on video, but it's there. And all I'm doing is I'm taking a very sharp little box cutter and running it along. It gets rid of the hinge joint without damaging the artwork. So now, that one just doesn't want to go. Helps if you use two hands. Right, the idea is I don't want to damage the artwork. I just want to, even though I'm going to be cutting it up, the irony. Now I can use this another time because it's still fine, perfectly fine. And now I've got this. So my plan is to see if there's anything salvageable, and I could crop this, right? That's an option. Or if I really don't find another composition in here that I fall in love with, I could paint over it. But I really think what I'm going to do is cut these up and collage them because they're all from the same series. So they have a color palette. They're all in the same color palette. So I can cut them up, and they should, in theory, go pretty well together. So coming up, you'll see what I've done with this little experiment by getting rid of the old and trying to make something new with it. Okay, check it out. And if you like these videos, please subscribe, share with somebody, put up a little like thumb, and you can also subscribe to my newsletter, ClaudeLarsonArt.com. Just sign up for that, and then once a week you'll get my blog posts and any videos that I do, and some raffles, some giveaways, all kinds of other good stuff that I have on there. Okay, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for what happens to these old paintings and how I make them new again. Okay, so I had the artwork. I didn't like it. And so I decided that since I didn't like it anyway, I was going to cut it up. And so I got a sketchbook out, and I got a pair of scissors and, all the things you would get, matte medium and a brush and all the stuff. And this was the first thing that I did with it. I just started cutting stuff up. I just started collaging it down. I added a couple bits here. I stamped a little circle here. Like, this is nothing great. But the lesson I learned here is I had things that I didn't like, and I made something that I don't necessarily love. There was nothing to lose here except for the fear of cutting up your own work. So once I got over that fear and I had already cut into all these pieces, I just kept going, because just because I don't like the first one doesn't mean I'm not going to learn anything. So then, here I go, keep cutting, and I'm noticing, obviously I love circles. If you've ever seen the rest of my work on my website, ClaudeLarsonArt.com. I love circles, but I also obviously love pattern, but I love this nice little section here. It's a little open space. Do I love this? No, it was just a way to cut up my old stuff and see what would happen. So this I started noticing, right? Red, red, red. I'm moving the eye around. Black spatter, black over here. Here's some pattern, right? I have a lot of neutral in here, pops of color. I love that. There's my signature circle right there. Cut up pieces, love my scribbles. You know, all of this just collaged in there. Now, a bunch of collage. I did find some collage paper that I had made while I was painting the paintings. So I had stuff that would coordinate with this. My old deli paper scribbles. And then, you know, I just used something round and stamped on here. Keep going. Now all of a sudden I'm getting a little more structure in my pieces. They seem a little weighty, right? Obviously, you know, working in the vertical and incorporating other things that I happen to love. Yellow, talking to yellow, red, moving your eye around the piece, you know, neutral, allowing the color to come up. Moving to the horizontal, but then I like this. It's like this unexpected thing that starts happening here. This is solid, 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 boom, something airy. This one I really like. I don't know why I really like it. This just reminds me of like maybe a planet in orbit. And I do like the minimal thing that I have going on here. And then I start to realize, you know, you don't have to throw the kitchen sink at this to make something better. Cutting it up, having less, not a bad way to go. Sort of urban landscape. I feel like I do a lot of this urban landscape, which is ironic because I really do live like in the woods. You know, balancing, having the circles moving around, incomplete circles, filling them in with paint and collage. I like to connect, like, where does your eye go first, right? I think mine goes here, but then, you know, it brings you down this side. It gives you something to look at everywhere on the page. Do I love all of these? No, but I didn't love them anyway. So cutting them up literally gave me like a morning meditative practice. I'd come down here first thing before I could criticize myself and just start cutting things up, seeing what I could make. I kind of like this. Look at the variation between this like sort of rough-edged white scribble and then a smooth-edged yellow scribble. You know, put them together and you get this whole new kind of vibe going on. You know, larger sections, but then just supported with some other pieces. This is what I like about this one. Here I have a shape. It obviously continued and I cut it off the other piece, but I just made it different. I had a line and then I made it different. I had a shape and then I took something else. So rather than it having more color around it, it was more open. Just messing around with stuff. And is this the last one? Yeah, so this is the last one. And I have to say, you know, I went from having these like 11 by 11 pieces now, and I have a few scraps left, but I feel like after doing this exercise, I am free to throw away anything that I didn't use and not feel bad about it. Could I have just thrown them in the trash? Sure. But instead, I used them just to play with, and it's very liberating because I never felt like, oh no, I'm ruining something. Like it was already something I didn't like. It didn't matter. So if you have some old work and you've gotten better from that point, this is a great way to reuse it in a way that teaches you something. So rather than just, oh, this is bad and I've gotten better and throw it away, like see how you can cut it up, rearrange it, change the composition, and see what you can come up with. So I hope this is helpful. I know I have talked about sketchbooks before and the use of them and the power of them, but I do believe that having something that you know nobody else is going to see except that I posted it on YouTube, Nobody else is going to see this. This is just for me. So what I make, great. Doesn't matter. And I learned a lot from the process. All right. I hope this is helpful. I hope you start playing with your sketchbooks. I hope you find some old work that you know you don't love. That's the other thing, right? We have to admit, like, I'm better now than I was back then. I don't love it. Throw it out, because otherwise it just weighs you down. Okay, thanks for being here. Have a great day. Go play. Go make a mess. Bye.